This is Paul. Yeah. I'm reading this, and they have what's called the Aeronautics and Space Act. Yes, a federal law establishing a national space program. The statute also provides that space shall be used only for peaceful purposes that will benefit all of mankind. Wouldn't that be something if somebody had a satellite system that was connected to all the point of sales, and then they thought, well, we're just going to have to sew into every president of every nation, virtualize the population, and then we'll have a global satellite system in space that'll control every transaction of every consumer. Now, somehow, I don't think that was the intention of the Aeronautics and Space Act. Now, it could be that a large number of corporations that might have had some sort of satellite system that was connected to or sewn into those that are consumers might get sued for violating that law that space can only be used for what's good for mankind. Now, I know there are those corporations that said, well, we're going to have to virtualize all the transactions, and we're going to have to control them because they're just human beings. They don't understand how all this technology works. I just wanted to know all the satellites connected to all the point of sale locations of every president of the United States or every president of every nation for the last 40 years. Now, let's say you're one of these that is the president or has been the president, or you were attempting to become the president, and you stopped by a convenience store. Pooch. You did yourself a little point of sale transaction with your favorite bank's debit card. And it turned out that you could GPS the location of every transaction using a little satellite system. Now, corporate America had thought, we might as well control the world. And as a lot of people have noticed, satellites are actually in space. They're outside of the upper atmosphere of the Earth, right? So I wanted to know the GPS location of every transaction of every president. Then I wanted to know, were there any satellites that were connected to that GPS location at that time of a transaction? Do we have all the satellites in outer space? Corporate America deciding that they're going to build themselves a global satellite infrastructure that was going to control the minds of those that are presidents of every nation. It could be that they don't realize the liability of influencing or having any control of the thoughts of those that are elected to office. Now, as that American, I'm not above suing every corporation in the world. Seemed like we had a few too many satellites that were connected to those elected to office in other nations that could track their actual purchases just using the GPS location of debit and credit card transactions. I want to know every satellite in space, and then I want to sue every corporation that has violated any laws about what space can be used for.